Anne Marshall Homan is author of a book called The Morning Side of Mount Diablo. She and her husband moved to a house on Morgan Territory Road in 1980. I asked her how she got started on her book.
It's so beautiful in this place where we live. I began thinking, well, the people like us that moved here now probably moved here because it is so beautiful. But why did people move here long ago? I'm sure they appreciated it, but probably economically there was some other reason. So anyway, I started asking some of the people who had lived here longer than I, and they told me some stories, and they gave me some names of other people to talk to. And gradually I began getting an idea of what the place was like long ago.
Who were the very first people that you know about here?
Well, they weren't people that I met personally. The name of this tribe that was along this road was the Volvon tribe, Volvon. One of the Mexican land grants had the word Balbones in it, and that's because they changed a V to a B in Spanish, but it's the same tribe. The name Volvon means natural springs. Their territory was from the very top, the very peak of Mount Diablo, and down to our road. Now, the tribe here is much different from, let's say, a tribe like the Cherokee Indians. The tribe here could maybe only have between 20 and 100 people. Probably one of the main attractions was the mercury mines. Native Americans mined that area for cinnabar to make a dye that they used to paint on their bodies. Perhaps mostly when they were dancing, but it would be a resource that was not available to the Indian peoples that lived around them. And so people would come here to trade that.
Jeremiah Morgan, who arrived in 1856, was among the first Anglos to settle in the area. Over the years, he claimed thousands of acres of land in what came to be called Morgan Territory.
And he was an interesting person. He first came up in the Walnut Creek area and then found what he called this wonderful place, which was his Morgan Territory. And he hunted here a lot. There was a record in the old newspaper where he had brought the paws of 2 grizzly bears into town. Morgan had 2 wives, and with the first wife he had 16 children, and with the second wife he had 1. There are lots of Morgans around here. I went to the family picnic one year. There got to be so many people that they couldn't have it at one person's house, so they had it in a park. Hundreds of people. This is Joe Morgan, this is John Morgan, this is Mary Morgan. It's like, oh my gosh.
As you may have already guessed, Ray Morgan Road is named after one of his descendants, a well-respected local fire chief who died in 1985. We'll get back to local history later, but now it's time to talk logistics. You can make a side trip up to the top of the dome from here. There are big chunks of dacite up there and good views to the north and south. There's also a fair amount of poison oak and steep slopes on the other side, so watch your step if you decide to try it.
As you're rising up the Ray Morgan Fire Road, when the grasslands and woodland turns into solid, dark chaparral and brush, that's where you can turn right to go to the top of the volcanic dome and to overlook Perkins Canyon.
So you go across country here?
Yeah, or you can just continue on the fire trail and it'll take you over the other side of the dome and drop you into Perkins Creek with a lot less trouble.
Our next stop is at the junction of Ray Morgan Road and the single-track Perkins Trail, where we'll discuss the effects of the 2013 fire.